And continuing on through the main card, we got Matt Schnell taking on Steve Erceg here in a ranked fight at flyweight. Steve Erceg's trying to break into that top 10. Matt Schnell's looking to defend his number 9 spot. But Matt Schnell, it's been a year-long layoff for him. He last fought December 3rd, 2022. He was scheduled to fight a couple times since then, but had to pull out due to injuries. He was actually supposed to face Steve Erceg at UFC 295, but couldn't make the fight. And 34 years old now, so he's one of the oldest flyweights on the roster. And UFC flyweights that are actually 34 or older, currently signed to the UFC, are 2-5, and both of the wins are from Tim Elliott. So most of the time, when you're this age at flyweight, you're on your way out. So Matt Schnell's gonna have to defy the odds to get the win here. He's pulled the upset in the UFC before, and he's live to get it done because he's dangerous. He has a killer be killed style. And his opponent, Steve Erceg, he jumped onto the scene pretty quickly. He was able to get that short notice fight with a ranked fighter in David Dvorak, and went in there, got the decision win over Dvorak in a big upset, and then followed that up with another good fight, good victory over Alessandro Costa. So if he could beat the top 10 gatekeeper in Matt Schnell, he's going to get a high-ranked fight next. So 6 wins in a row for Erceg. He's in his prime at 28, and he's been active, so that's why he's the favorite here. But when you look at these guys stylistically, Matt Schnell's a fighter who's always good for a fun time. He puts himself in the fire. Most of his fights end in a finish. 17 of Schnell's fights have ended inside the distance. Only 5 have gone the distance. Normally when he loses, he's getting knocked out. When he wins, it's via triangle. And he's had a couple of huge wins kind of slip through his fingers. He dropped and had Alexandre Pantoja badly hurt. And he also knocked down Brandon Royval and had Royval in some trouble. So Schnell, could have had some wins over some of the best guys in the world, but just ended up getting overzealous and getting finished himself. But Matt Schnell is a highly skilled guy on the feet. He's southpaw. He has good effective pressure, fast, good length. He has good feints and educated lead hand. He throws a lot of jabs or double jabs and lead hooks. He uses his lead hand to open up his big left cross. Fast, he's dangerous because he's willing to stay in the pocket and commit to his punches. And he has decent head movement. He'll slip and return with combinations. Great cardio so he could push the pace. Doesn't really kick much and really only attacks the head, so he's not that hard to read. He needs to mix in more kicks, mix in more body attacks in his style. But he's hittable. His chin isn't great. He has good toughness and recoverability because he's in shape, but he's been knocked out in multiple fights, and there's been fights where he's been winning, looking like the better fighter, and then just got put to sleep. So there's always that danger with Matt Schnell, and he doesn't check leg kicks either, so just smart tactic to utilize leg kicks against him. His last fight, he struggled a lot with the speed of Mateus Nicolau. He couldn't see that left hook coming and got knocked out. He has good hand speed, but his foot speed isn't that great. Can be a little flat-footed, and guys that can close that distance quick, get out on him, can give him issues. And it was a very awkward reaction, him getting knocked out his last fight. And he's had that happen where he's had these weird reactions getting knocked out more than once. So hopefully he can bounce back from that and still has a chin, but he's dangerous everywhere, even on the ground. He's improved his timing on his takedowns. He shoots in between exchanges and can hit easy level changes. He isn't the most active wrestler, but his wrestling has been pretty effective recently. And he has nasty ground and pound. He has good top control. More of an opportunistic submission guy where he catches guillotines and scrambles, catches triangles, triangle arm bars. And one thing about him, though, is he's been caught in a guillotine on 3 separate occasions. So that's a choke he's shown he's susceptible to. And he doesn't, in my opinion at least, have the wrestling to take down someone with the capability of Steve Erceg, even with his improved wrestling. So he's going to have to rely on either knocking Erceg down to get on top or Erceg taking him down to implement his jiu-jitsu that way. But Steve Erceg, similar style to Matt Schnell actually. He's tall, he's long, likes to pressure and box. Good jab, he stays active, throws some 1-2s, jab overhand rights. Good ability to throw the lead hook to the body, then come over the top with the big rear hand to the head. And he will let go with nice combinations when fights are in the inside. And when he fights at range, he'll stay active. He's pretty accurate. He can land off the back foot with check hooks, pull twos, good knees when fighters crash inside. I would say he's the more diverse striker here. And he's composed. He's defensively sound. A little bit more than Schnell. He also doesn't have the greatest defense, but he rolls with shots well. He does a better job of slightly getting out of the way. And he is hittable, but I feel like he is more durable. And Erceg, he tends to pick up as fights go on. He can get cracked early and get hurt, but starts to pick fighters apart when he finds his rhythm. And if I was Erceg, I would look for more leg kicks in this fight. And as long as Erceg is able to be the guy going forward and not get backed up, I think he'll be effective in the striking. And Erceg is a good wrestler. He's well-rounded. He will time takedowns in between exchanges, and I think he's a bit more physical and has better clinch takedowns and chain wrestling. His takedown defense and get-up game is really solid. Clinch game is on point. He's skilled everywhere. I haven't really seen Erceg in the guard of someone like Schnell, so that's something I'm not sure of, but his jiu-jitsu looks good, and he has dangerous guillotine and front chokes, so I feel as if that's a viable path to victory for him, that guillotine. And he's going to have to be careful on the ground, though, with Matt Schnell if it does go there, because Matt Schnell is a dangerous guy, and he could submit anyone there. But this is a good matchup. I mean, both guys are very skilled. They have the ability to finish. And even if Erceg has yet to earn a submission in the UFC, I think he could hurt Schnell, get him on the back foot, and club and sub him, or just catch a guillotine in a scramble. I think Erceg is just the better all-around fighter. Schnell is coming back off a year-long layoff. He's older. He's already taken a good amount of damage. So, although I respect his skills, I just don't think he's likely to win. And I'm going to predict Steve Erceg wins via second-round submission.